variables and constructs are very much useful while making research, because you have to select variables for your study. Minimum 2 variables to be taken for study, that is recommended. In PhD thesis, normally 3 variables are taken, or many times 4 variables are also taken. So actually in this unit we are going to learn meaning of the variable and types of variable. Then we will learn what are the concept and construct, and the type of the construct. Very small but very much important. Now just I have highlighted certain things for your observation. When I say variable, the first property of variable is it vary, means it is changeable. The second property of variable is it contains different values. And third property is it is measurable. Variable is also observable. What is observed, that can be measured. So anything in psychological research which vary, which changes, which contain different value, and which can be measured is called as variable. Now it is given in the definition of Kerlinger also. What Kerlinger said, Kerlinger in 1986 defined variable a property that takes a different value. Another researcher has defined variable as these are the attributes of objects, event, thing, beings which can be measured. And the third variable states that, a third author states that a variable is a characteristic or attribute that can be taken on number of values. Now just try to understand in the context now which you have learned till date. In cognitive psychology you have learned perception, information processing, memory, attention, intelligence. So intelligence is a variable, because when we measured it in the form of IQ, intelligence quotient, it can vary from 50 to 145. Sometimes it can go below 50 also. And 100 is the considered as average intelligence of the population. So variability is met. The criteria of variability is met. Can we measure intelligence? Yes. With the help of intelligence test, we can measure the intelligence. We can measure the intellectual ability with the help of standard progressive matrices. We can calculate IQ with the help of Mullin's test of intelligence. Now, can intelligence be changed? Yes. Right from the birth, so till the age of 16, intelligence continuously develop. Means it is changing from birth to till the age of 16-18. And then it remain constant for a fixed period of time till 25 or 35, and then it deteriorates. That is the property of an intelligence. Can you observe the intelligence? Physically not, but as a matter of construct, you can observe intelligence in various phenomena. Like you can observe intelligence in the form of academic achievement. A person's score 97% in SSC examination. A person is a topper in IAS examination. So they are considered as intelligent in their subject area. So it is like that. Intelligence is like that. Can you see the air? No, you can't see the air. But when you are moving in an open garden, you can feel the air. Similarly, intelligence cannot be seen by open eyes, but it can be observed in various forms. So, intelligence is one variable. Now, this is a cognitive phenomena. Second, come to aggression. Aggression, is it a variable? Gussa aana. Is it a variable? Yes. Because aggression varies from situation to situation. Intelligence is inbuilt in mind, and it will be rarely vary from situation to situation, whereas aggression can vary frequently from situation to situation. That is why aggression has to be treated differently. So aggression vary from situation to situation. A father who is showing one kind of aggression on the child will show different kind of aggression on wife, or a male father showing different type of aggression on child will show the different type of aggression on wife, and when he will go at work, his aggression will be different. At work, if he is aggressive, he will produce better result. If he will be aggressive about the wife, he will create some kind of stress in the mind of wife. And if he will be aggressive about the children will develop fear or withdrawal symptoms. So aggression is also a variable. Now these variables are categorized, that we will see next. I hope this idea is clear to you with two examples. Now types of variable. Normally we don't discuss variable in terms of stimulus variable, organism variable and response variable. We normally in research process we know independent variable, dependent variable, extraneous variable, confounding variable. These four important variables we are aware of. But the basis of all these four types of variable is here in understanding SOR variables. SOR means stimulus, O means organism, and R means response. Stimulus, when it is captured through our senses, it is get processed in our brain, and on the basis of result obtained by processing, you give the response. Means stimulus is input, organism, the human brain, is processing unit, and response, the action produced by you is a response. SOR relationship is taught in many different ways in many disciplines. I have learned SOR relationship initially in biology, then in psychology, and then in management also. So what is the importance here in research that we'll study here? S is the symbol of stimuli, and the category may be referred to in general a stimulus variable. So it is called as stimulus variable. Now, light is entering into the room. The intensity of light is low. So what you will do? You will on the tube light or you will on the light inside the room, and you will increase the intensity of a light. So here what is the stimulus? The darkness is the stimulus which you have understood, and then you have switch on the light button. So darkness is the stimulus. Now what is your processing? What you have thought in mind? That is, if darkness has to be removed, then light must be made on. That is thinking. So thinking is your processing, and thinking took place in your brain. That is a part of organism. And what is your response? Switching on the light button is the response. So stimulus is always, mostly always, sometimes in abnormal behavior it is inside the brain also. Stimulus is mostly present in outside environment, and stimulus has to be captured. Anything which you capture, if it is measurable, if it is changeable, then it is a stimulus variable. Now here in this example, what is a stimulus variable? You have observed darkness. So is the darkness stimulus variable? Or you have switch on the light. A process of switching on is the stimulus variable. Or then you have seen that you have seen the sufficient light in the room when you have switch on. You have made switch on. No. The stimulus variable is light. What is the stimulus variable here? It is light. Means the intensity of light prompted you to switch on the variable. So stimulus variable is illumination or a light intensity. Now O. O is the symbol of organism variable that is changeable physiologically and psychologically. It is a characteristic of organism being observed. Now there are many O type of variables. You can simply say thinking, or you are hurting emotionally. So when you hurt emotionally, something happens in your brain. Your response is not the variable. What is happening in your brain, that is the variable. Like, take the example of thought. So, thoughts can be normal, you can overthink, you can overgeneralize. So, normal thought, overthinking, and overgeneralization, that all takes place in your brain. Such variable are called as organism type of variable. Now, response. Response is the symbol for response. R is the symbol for response, and in general, response variable which refers some behavior or action of the organism. In first example, my action, switching on the light, but it is a simple action. How it can be a variable? Switching on the light, how it can be a variable is a big question. It will be variable only when I will switch on the light, switch off the light, switch on the light, switch off the light. Means the number of time I switch on, that is a variable. Only action of switching on is not a variable. Number of times I am switching on or off, that is a variable. This part is coming in the next portion. We'll study it. Now, intelligence and aggression, these are the two phenomena I normally discuss while explaining you, because you also understand very well about this phenomena. Now, in case of intelligence and aggression, we'll study stimulus, organism, and response variable, and then we'll proceed. So, what is a stimulus variable in case of a intelligence? If you have to take a intelligence, what stimulates you to develop your intelligence? Of course, it is everything which has been captured from your surrounding that develops the intelligence. Now, you are acquiring knowledge. Knowledge is acquired from family, knowledge is acquired in school, knowledge is acquired within your brain by the process of assimilation and accommodation. Means learning more from your own learning. So, the knowledge acquisition process is a variable. Knowledge, you can simply also say, knowledge is a variable. So, knowledge further can be understood in terms of frequency and in terms of its kind. That part we'll see later. Now, what is O type of variable? O type of stimulus in intelligence. Every people gets the knowledge from outside. Every school children get the knowledge from outside. What is the possibility of development of their intelligence equal? There is no possibility. Because organism variable vary in their brain. Their ability to accept information that is inside their brain, and that is vary. There is a variability in their ability to accept information, and that is organism variable. What is response? Response variable. On the basis of available knowledge, in other words, on the basis of the level of intelligence, you can produce certain results. For example, academic achievement. How much mark you scored, that is a result. How better you played in a game, how smartly you played a chess, these are the result, and all these are response variable of a intelligence. Now we'll come to the normally discussed definition of variable: independent variable and dependent variable. Now, independent variable, that is a factor which is manipulated or selected for experiment. Now, I am interested to understand effect of intelligence on academic achievement. Academic achievement in terms of percentage obtained by student. So, intelligence is my independent variable, and academic achievement or percentage of score obtained at the end of the year is my dependent variable. Now within the independent variable, aggression, I will give another example. Aggression leads to mood disturbances. So aggression is my independent variable and mood disturbances is my dependent variable. Now remember that one variable in one experiment can be independent variable, the same variable can be dependent variable in another experiment. Depends on experimenter's objective of doing the experiment. So all variables are independent variable and some variable are independent variable and some variable are dependent variable. You cannot categorize like that. An independent variable can be in a different situation a dependent variable. Like, what is the impact of knowledge on intelligence level during lifespan period? So the amount of knowledge gain is a independent variable and intelligence is a dependent variable, because the development of intelligence will be based on amount of knowledge received by in infancy. Again, there are three stages: in infancy, in childhood and in adolescence. So that way experiments becomes complex. We will try to understand in simple terminology first, then we will go for complex. Now there are two types of independent variable referred here: type E independent variable and type S independent variable. Now type E independent variable is one which can be manipulated by the experimenter himself, and type S independent variable is one which has to be taken from the sample. You cannot manipulate it. Like, for example, I can manipulate the intensity of light in my room by increasing number of lights or number of bulbs, switch on or switch off. I have four bulbs in my room. So now I can manage intensity of light by keeping one bulb on, or two bulb on, or three bulb on, or four bulb on, or by switching off all four bulb. So intensity of light will depend on what is the light available in the surrounding the room. And if it is a night time, so the darkness is itself the intensity of a light. So we have 6 aspect: darkness, the light from outside effect, the intensity of life by switching one switch on, by 2 switch on, 3 switch on and 4 switch on. 6 different experimenting situation, and that is directly controlled by me. I can control it. Now how I want to see the effect of life on my readability, not reading ability. Whatever is available in screen or whatever is available written in the book, I want to check it. Darkness, how much I can read. In a normal light, how much I can read. And when I switch on one button, how much I can read, or rather how better I can read. So the type E independent variable can be directly controlled by the expression. Now I want to see the impact of aggression on mood disturbances. Can I manipulate aggression? Can I allow someone to become aggressive? And then I will measure mood disturbances? No, ethically it is not wrong. Though experiment can be done, but ethically it is not wrong. That kind of experiments are not allowed in psychological research. Ethically it is wrong. So what I will do, I will take the 50 aggressive people or 60 aggressive people, I will measure their aggression, and then I will find out which 20 are having the highest level of aggression, which 20 are having the lowest level of aggression, means on the lower, having a lower mean, and which are at moderate level. So I will obtain mean value of set of 20 people each. So I will get highly aggressive people, moderately aggressive people, and low on aggression people. And then I will check the impact of aggression on mood disturbances. So I will take the values of mood disturbances at 3 levels. How it is impacted by 20 set of 20 people when their aggression was low, then how it is impacted when the set of 20 people's aggression were moderate, what was the mood disturbances value, because at the same time I will check the mood disturbances also, and that way I will get the 3 observations of mood disturbances for 3 levels. So this type of independent variable are called as type S independent variable. I hope type E and type S, these are the technical terms. We will not spend much more time on this. A dependent variable is the factor that appears, disappears, or varies as the experimenter introduces, removes, or varies the independent variable. Just I have explained you with the example of a light intensity. Alberto 2006, this is the recent research. The dimensions are the dimensions of a independent variable. This is very useful and important, technically also important. The dimensions of independent variable are, means how you can measure the independent variable. 1, it can be measured in terms of frequency, means number of times the behavior occur. Second, duration, the amount of time that the behavior lasts. Latency, the amount of time between when the behavior is actually performed. Force, the intensity or strength of the behavior. Now, understanding 4 in one example is difficult, but I can take in which all 4 can be understood. Schizophrenia is a disorder. So, in schizophrenia, a person gets, means a person is normally produces mild level of attacks and major level of attack. Mild level of attack means for 3 to 7 minutes he become abnormal and he will do vulnerable actions like तोड़फोड़ करना, फेंक फाक करना, गाली गलौज करना, चिढ़ना, मारना, वायोलेंट हो जाना वगैरह वगैरह. And 20-25 minutes to 30-35 minutes, that is called as major episode. So these two type of episode are common to schizophrenic patient. Now, if I have to count within 1 week how many number of mild and major attack received, attack produced, you take a month, how many times major and mild attack are produced by the schizophrenic patient. So in a month twice, I am telling you on the factual data. Normally in a month twice and daily 5 times. So within the month 150 mild response is produced, mild schizophrenic response is produced, and within a month 2 times the major schizophrenic attacks is produced. That is number of times that particular behavior occur. Now duration. So I have already categorized 2 type of attacks, mild attack and severe attack, severe schizophrenic attack. That is on the basis of duration. One is for 3 to 7 minutes and the other is for 25 to 35 minutes. That is duration. Latency, the amount of time between and when the behavior is actually performed. Means what is the time gap between 2 mild attack? I said within a day the mild attack will be 5. Within a day the mild attack will be 5. So if a day is of 24 hours, normally for every after 5 hours that attack must occur. But in schizophrenic patient the attack will not occur with this fixed period. It can be randomly occur. Sometimes it will occur at 7 a.m. and immediately after that 8 a.m. and then it may not occur till 3 p.m. and then it may occur every after 1 hour. Because to occur the mild attack, some kind of stimulation is required. Means some kind of trigger is required. Without trigger, the attack will not come at the surface of the mind. But in some variables, it is clearly periodic. It is very, very clearly periodic. The fixed interval will be there. There are many such behavior in which fixed interval can be observed. Let's take the example. Darkness of the room. Normally it occurs at two equal interval. 11 hours to 13 hours is that period. In a daytime, the light will be appropriate in the room, and in the night time the light will be completely missing. The darkness will be there. So it is two level of light illumination. One is darkness and one is light. Two level within 24 hours, and this is at equal interval, and every day it comes, provided you are not switching on the light. Okay, darkness and lightness, these are the two phenomena occurs at equal interval. That is, now what is a latency? I have explained. Okay, then what is force? The intensity or strength of a behavior. Again, go to the schizophrenia. In a schizophrenic patient, the intensity can be categorized two way: mild attack and severe attack. So in a mild attack, time is less, the behavior will not be very abnormal, very much abnormal, whereas in a severe attack, the behavior will be highly abnormal. He can do, I have seen one real schizophrenic patient who has attacked the father with the help of चाकू, और लगातार 4 बार चाकू उन्होंने छाती में अपने फादर के मारा था. That is severe attack. So that way intensity has to be judged, and for many psychological phenomena these 4 factors vary. Frequency vary, duration vary, latency vary, and force also vary. Now, extraneous and confounding variable. Extraneous variable may be directly affected the dependent variable or may continue with the independent variable to produce an effect. Now we'll understand it in terms of aggression and the impact of aggression on mood disturbances. Aggression produces mood disturbances. True. But last time also I said, sometimes aggression alone may not be responsible. The impulsiveness, in addition to aggression, also produces mood disturbances. In case of ADHD children, inattentiveness, impulsiveness and hyperactivity, these are the 3 factors responsible to produce ADHD behavior. The deficit behavior, you can say, deficit behavior. Now, if you will study the impact of hyperactivity or aggression, that study will be incomplete. You have to take all these 2 variables together. Now, in this case, you can call it as a sum variable, like if you will take the impact of inattentiveness, so your confounding variable will be hyperactivity as well as uh, aggression, impulsiveness. Means three variables are confounded in such a way that you cannot obtain the right impact of the right you cannot rightly understand the behavior of such child with a single variable. So some variable are confounded. Confounding is with the independent variable also, and confounding is with the dependent variable also. Aggression produces mood disturbances. Now, aggression has disturbed the mood. Okay? And within the disturbed mood, how it impacts the dependent variable that I am telling you. With a disturbed mood, you are working. Now, your result will affect. You are having the ability to produce the better result, but you are trying to produce a result with the disturbed mood. So, your result on the task will be reduced or it will be poor. So, what is confounded here? A kind of stress produced in the mind, a type of anxiety produced in the mind. A depressed mood means some sort of depression is also confounded with the mood disturbances. Or you can also say that mood disturbances can be particularly categorized in these three forms: anxiety, stress and depressed mood. And it depends that how these are affecting your result. Of course, result will be poor if anxiety, depression and stress contribute at large while performing the task. So that way you have to understand confounding variable. Extraneous variable.
Sir, may I ask a question, please?
हाँ बोल.
Sir, जैसे आपने कहा, if I know कि I am not in good mood or normal mood, and I kept myself more attentive to perform the task कि अभी और ध्यान से करना है क्योंकि हमारा मूड ठीक नहीं है, तो हो सकता है कि जो हम पहले नॉर्मल सिचुएशन में कर रहे थे वो हम टास्क और बेटर कर पाए हैं. What is it?
See, that is U-shape result. That is called as occurrence of U-shape result. With disturbed mood, your result will go high to certain level only. Beyond that, it cannot go high. It will reduce further. Sometimes it happens with the stress actually. When you have high level of stress, so the performance will be better till you have tolerable level of stress, and when stress will become intolerable, your performance will deteriorate. It happened in case of a stress, but normally it won't happen in case of anxiety and depression. Got the point? Now, confounding variable is one that varies with the independent variable. So keep in mind here, extraneous variable affect independent variable as well as dependent variable, whereas confounding variable affects only independent variable. Now, in a case of ADHD behavior, inattention, impulsiveness and hyperactivity, all three are confounding variable because it affect each other. They are confounded. No extraneous variable is there. But for example, the family environment of the ADHD child is not suitable. So family environment will become the extraneous variable. School environment is not supportive. So the behavior of ADHD child will be worst over a period of time because of extraneous variable. So you have to keep a clear-cut boundary in confounding variable and extraneous variable. So extraneous variable affects the dependent as well as independent variable. School environment and the family environment will affect the ADHD symptoms, means it will affect the inattentiveness, impulsiveness and hyperactivity, as well as it is going to affect the performance of the ADHD child or the total behavior of the ADHD child. So that way extraneous variable has to be understood, and confounding variable are associated, it impacts only independent variable. Means performance of the child will be affected only when inattentiveness, impulsiveness and hyperactivity will confounded and will produce the result together. Active and attribute variable. Any variable that is manipulated is called active variable. In other words, E variables are all active variable. Attribute variable is the variable which is not manipulated but measured by experimenter. Simple. The active variable is a different name of E variable and attribute variable is a different name of ES variable. Quantitative and categorical variable. Quantitative variable is one that varies in amount, whereas categorical variable varies in kind. Now I am switching the switch on and off how many number of times, that is quantitative variable. If I have switching it at one time, quantitative variable, 2 times quantitative variable, 3 times quantitative variable, 4th time quantitative variable. Now if I have a 100 light in my room, so I go on increasing the intensity of light. So what will happen? The temperature of room will increase, right? So what temperature I will measure? I can put the temperature in different level: low temperature, moderate temperature, high temperature, very high temperature. These are the kind. So you have to understand difference between kind and quantity. Continuous and discrete variable. Quantitative variable are further divided into two categories, namely continuous variable and discrete variable. A continuous variable is one which is capable of being measured in any arbitrary degree or fineness or exactness, like age, height, intelligence, reaction. When there is no gap, age can be of 10 years, 10 years, 6 months, 10 years, 6 months, 5 days, 10 years, 6 months, 5 days and 15 hours, 10 years, 6 months, 5 days, 15 hours and 10 minutes. So that way age can be further continuously divided into part. you can go to nanosecond also. So age is a continuous variable. Height, that way. Intelligence quotient. Intelligence quotient is normally in number. Intelligence quotient is a discrete variable, whereas intelligence is a continuous variable, because intelligence quotient cannot be counted as 100 and 0.05. It is 100 or 101, or it is 105. Like that we count the intelligence quotient, whereas intelligence, it can be continuous. Now discrete variable. The discrete variable are those variables which are not capable of being measured in any arbitrary degree of fineness or exactness, because the variable contains a clear gap. For example, the number of members in the family. It can't be 2.5 member. Either it will be 2 or it will be 3. Number of females in a particular group. Whenever you take a study, the females will be either 10 or 12. It can be 10 and a half. It can't be 10 and a half. The construct part we will see tomorrow.